I just want to share my frustration of using Raylib. So about a week ago, I started to experimenting with some programming in Odin, and I figured maybe I want to write a GGUF format reader in Odin just to see how this language feels. And that part has been quite quick. It took me less than a day, 7 or 8 hours in total. And for those who don't know, GGUF is a file format that's quite popular in deep learning, especially in the local AI community. So this is a GGUF specification, very well explained. So I figured, okay, maybe I just write a reader to read its metadata in Odin, and that's how I can learn it. So just to give you a feeling of it, what I learned is that you can have a main function in any package. It does not have to be the main package. So in this way, I can have a multi-entry program. That means it has a GUI, it has a CLI, so it's two main functions depending on how you build it. And of course, we have the actual logic, the core logic in its own package, and I like this separation. Now you need to give it a model for it to read. For example, let's read this model. Let's first do meta only. Okay, that's so quick. Okay, let's read everything. Still quite quick, right? It's a 47 milliseconds. Look at the tensor here. Okay, this tensor, it has a 9 single block, 9 modulation, linear weight. That's not the important part. The important part is, okay, now I feel like this program is already useful. How about making it into a GUI application? And because it's in Odin, so I'm just searching different solutions that I can use in Odin to make GUIs. So Raylib comes with the Odin compiler in the vendor directory. So I just figured maybe I can use Raylib to display a basic GUI, and that was like 3 or 4 days ago, and that started my frustration. It's like almost to like a mental depression state. It is so depressed to use Raylib to do GUI stuff. And it's not about the immediate mode UI, because I have used like eGUI before, and eGUI feels quite good. However, the UI part of Raylib is just so confusing, and all the errors are silent, so it's almost impossible for me to debug. Let me run it. Okay, I have some basic control. Like if I scroll the wheel here, right, the mouse wheel, I can change the font size. That information is kind of hidden. I spent like hours to figure out how to do that. But now I have a problem here, because this is not 2 widgets. It is one widget called the UI panel here. But for some reason, 3 is rendered above the rectangle. I just have no idea what is happening. It's so weird. Of course, this is not the only widget I have tried. I have tried many different variations like labels, text. I also tried to draw text directly without using RayGUI, just using Raylib directly, like draw extended text, something like that. It is so hard to debug Raylib. Load the style here. So that's how it's supposed to work. However, for example, if I just change this to something that does not exist, just see what happened. There's no error log, right? So it's so easy to make mistakes. Stuff like that. Or for example, if here I'm setting the style for label, but I am using the ID for checkbox property, and I run it, there's no error at all, but this should be impossible, right? This should be an impossible state. This function does not return anything, so there's no way for me to know if this call is a valid call or not. I sort of have to just to know it. So it means, okay, that's fine, because this is written by a single person, and I appreciate that I can have this free tool. Then I try to search some tutorials online, but if you search Raylib tutorials online, there is no tutorials pretty much. So now, like, the problem is we have this amazing library. There's not much educational material or documentation about how to use this library. Library itself has a lot of silent errors. which makes quite impossible to use. Like, it's so frustrated. I have been programming for 12 years. I'm also using a Mac. It seems like a lot of the gay community, sorry, not gay community, game community on Windows. Now I'm like, okay, of course this is just a experimentation. I can just abandon this code and write an actual GGUF viewer in another language. Or if somebody can suggest me some solutions, either with Raylib or with another UI library that I can use, so that I don't have to abandon this Odin project, because Odin, the language feels very good.